How you doing?
Great. How are you, Secretary?
Good. Thanks for taking time to do this with us. Well, here she is. Look at this.
Yes.
So this is home.
Yes, this is home away from home.
All right.
In the mornings when we come in, we do underneath the hood inspection. This is the steering column, so we shake this to make sure that it won't be loose when we're driving. Then we check our fluids here. We have our brake fluid, the coolant, and then we check. I say I got enough oil.
USDOT.
Yes.
That's us.
We check our bolts and stuff in our tires. What we look at here is just to make sure our bolts are tight because we go up and down a lot of mountains and steep climbs.
Home away from home, huh?
Yes, this is my home away from home. Air fryer, and then I have all my seasonings here.
Look at that. All right.
And then my husband keeps me stocked with food that's underneath my bunk right there.
Yeah.
And
Those
then,
your kids?
this is my granddaughter Lola, and
Aww.
she's our first grandchild.
How old is she?
She's 7. And this is her little sister Liana.
Aww.
And this is 2 of my daughters. I have 2.
Okay.
It's a total of 4 girls and 2 boys.
Wonderful.
And then I use my map back there, the atlas.
I'm glad people still use this.
I do, not
not
a
all
lot
on
of
the
people
GPS,
do,
huh?
but yes, I do use it. As you can tell, the pages
Yeah.
have been used. So that's basically the inside of my truck, the tour.
So this is home, this is the office,
Yes.
this is the road all in
Yeah,
one.
Yes. A counselor when my children are having issues.
That's right.
Yes.
You got it looking good.
Yes, thank you.
Now, what do your friends and family think when you told them your dream was to be on the road?
Some
Must
of
have
them,
surprised someone.
my husband, like I said, he always knew, and so did our children. It was never a surprise to them. It was a surprise to everyone else. So I said, okay, how can I leave my grandchildren and my great-grandkids, who I don't know anything about yet, better off than I was when I was here? And I found trucking gave me that outlet.
So how did you find this particular job?
It was a 5-year process.
Oh, wow.
I'd always wanted to be a truck driver. It was my dream, but my husband and I, because we had 6 children at home, we agreed we would wait till they got grown.
Okay.
So I went into nursing.
I see.
Because I've always wanted to help people. And then we said in 2020 I was going to go into the trucking industry because that's when our son was graduating.
Okay.
But he didn't want me at home anymore in 2019 when he got his driver's license. So before,
So you moved up the clock a little bit?
yeah, before that though, I went and drove school buses because I wanted to get used to a commercial vehicle. I don't regret the decision. It's a great passion, and, and I graduated from a multicultural leadership program, and it taught us about serving and giving, to someone greater than yourself. And I really enjoy doing that.
Part of what we're trying to do is make sure that Americans understand that truck drivers are serving our economy in such an important way.
Right.
Do you feel like since the pandemic, maybe people have a better sense of that? Or do you think most
Yes.
people still don't understand how important trucking is?
I think they have a better understanding now because of the dire of not having the essentials that they needed in the stores, and realizing they're coming from truck drivers. Because even with me coming into the trucking industry, I didn't realize how much we carry almost everything.
Sure. Everything.
Everything comes through a truck.
Everything you eat, everything
Yeah.
you wear.
Yeah, everything.
Everything you count on.
It's a different appreciation on my side and for people in the community.
Let's say you're on a overnight trip and you've got maybe not much more than an hour left. How do you make a decision about what to do next?
Where to stay at?
Do you feel like you always have a good option, or do you have to?
I have like
figure it out
8
on the
different
fly?
options. Like if it says I'm going on I-80, I can pull one of my books up there on I-80 and look at the different places I've stayed.
Okay.
And one of the things I do is write down how many parking spots is available. Because going out east is the challenge of finding parking spots.
We're hearing a lot about this, that there's a real shortage of truck parking.
And the rest areas are being closed. So you don't have the rest areas, plus you don't have enough parking, especially at night, because a lot of the places that we do go to, it's not light. They don't have enough lighting and there is no security. So you're locked inside your truck.
Is there anything that you think makes a company especially good as a place to work for a woman driver?
Understanding that they have families, that the trucking industry has changed as far as it used to be, the 70s, 80s, and even the early 90s, men were out on the road, the women were at home taking care of the children, where you have a lot of single fathers and a lot of single mothers. So you can't stay out on the road 3 months at a time. You need to be able to come home. And some of the trucking companies don't want to get away from that. When you hire on, they want you out on the road 2 to 3 months. And for a female, that's not realistic when you're trying to take care of home as well. And so that was one of the things I was searching for, looking for a company, is how often do I get home? And then like detention, a lot of companies either do 2 to 3 hour wait for detention. The detention starts for us after an hour.
Okay.
We start getting paid detention, where most companies 2 to 3 hours. And even breakdown pay, you don't have to be out 24 hours before you get breakdown pay. It starts for us 2 hours after we are broken down.
We're seeing that this is a real issue, especially in the ports. You know, the detention there is running sometimes several hours. Even the warehouses closer to the ports. And of course, for the owner operators, they're getting killed.
Yes. Yes.
So it's good to know that the company makes you whole for the detention.
Right, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Only time we really have a lot of downtime waiting at a customer is when we have loads. Tires, and we already know what the tire load is going to be 3 to 4 hours. But what the challenge is now customers won't let you come in to use their restrooms because of the pandemic. They have outhouses or nothing at all.
Wow.
And as a female, that makes it challenging.
Sure.
So how do you see yourself helping more women and getting into the trucking company? Do you have an agenda or a plan? Or?
Well, I think first of all, it's a lot of listening. Conversations like this, getting a sense of what drivers are facing and what would make a difference. I think we need to work on some of these obstacles you're talking about. You know, some of the lifestyle obstacles, right? The hours, timing, the opportunity to be regional versus OTR, and which can make a big difference for drivers with families. Obviously, this parking issue is something that we got to get a handle on. Now, you know, as a department, government doesn't necessarily own or control most of the real estate, but you know, we've got the right-of-ways, we got the rest stops. We got to figure out how to make it a little easier, because from what you're describing, it's not just a convenience issue; it's a safety issue.
This was a great honor, so I look to see what you
likewise.
do for the women in the trucking industry and out at home.
We'll stay in touch and
thank you.
let us know when you have good ideas for us.
I sure will.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Really enjoyed it.
All right, enjoy your day.